Before we move on to the next chapter, there are a few things I'd like to point out about the JavaScript console. Sometimes developers are thrown off by some of the output they see. If you're just getting started with the JavaScript console, this could be confusing. In order to clear this up, let's review some basics about JavaScript expressions. An expression in JavaScript is simply a line of code that produces a result. For example, if I type 1 plus 1 in my console input area and click run, I'll see the number 2 in the console output area. That's because the result of this expression is 2. Notice that I didn't type 1 plus 1 equals 2. I typed 1 plus 1. And when I executed that code, I saw the result of that expression, which is 2. I could have easily typed 1 plus 2, in which case the result of that expression would be the number 3. Open up your code examples and copy the function getNumber. Paste that function into your input area and execute the code by clicking the Run button. Now you should see the number 123 in your console. You see that number because we have an expression, and that expression is a function. That function returns a number. That number is 123. So the result of our expression is the number 123, and the console has outputted the result of that expression. In your code examples, copy and paste the function getHello. When you execute this code, you'll see the word hello in your console, and that's because we have an expression. This expression is a function that returns the word hello. So the result of that expression is outputted in the console. It's the word hello. In your code examples, copy the function doNothing. When you execute this code, something a little bit different happens. You'll notice that the word undefined appears in the console. The reason for this is, in JavaScript, when a function explicitly returns no value, or when it does not return an explicit value, it returns the value undefined. So in this case, we have an expression. That expression is a function. The function does not explicitly return a value, which means it returns the value of undefined. In your code examples, copy the function return nothing. In this case, we have a function that does some things. The things are not particularly valuable to us, but it does things. But like the previous function, the return nothing function does not explicitly return a value, which means it returns undefined. When you execute this code, you'll see the value undefined in your console. So just keep in mind that the JavaScript console will always indicate the result of an expression. That expression could be a simple line of code like 1 plus 1, which equals 2, or it could be a function that may do things but not explicitly return a value. When a function does not return a value, the result is undefined. In the following chapters, we'll be spending a lot of time in the JavaScript console. Hopefully, you now have a clear understanding of the output that you'll see when we execute each code example. That's it for this lesson. In the next lesson, you'll continue to rely heavily on the JavaScript console as we begin to explore basic ways to use jQuery to add interactivity to your projects.